Australia has to stand up for itself, has triggered a major military operation.
I report the news. I talk about Afghanistan. I talk about Iraq.
Official intelligence for combat planes, the HMAS Success, came home today.
And what I take away from all of those stories is the people.
Less than 15 miles from the Iraqi coast.
Directed to this holding area in the northern Gulf.
Selfless courage and against the odds survival.
I'm Peter, and I'm a specialist reservist in the Royal Australian Air Force. Defence has been part of my family for as long as I can remember. Dad tells us stories about serving in the National Service. He joined the Army Reserve as a medical officer, rose to the rank of Colonel and was consultant to the Surgeon General ADF, and then was the honorary Colonel in the Royal Australian Medical Corps. So it's been a part of my family life for as long as I can remember. Most of you would know me as the chief newsreader for 9 News Sydney and as a former reporter for 60 Minutes, where I travelled the world. And during that time with 60, I loved reporting on defence and the men and women who make up defence. I leave those stories feeling a sense of pride about the men and women in our Defence Force. And that's part of the driving force that has seen me now come along and take part in it, become a reservist.
Blockade, if you will. The business starts.
I was a member of the National Defence Reserve Support Council for 7 years, and it was tri-service, and we'd have our meetings, and I'd always tend to gravitate towards the Air Force personnel. I love aviation. I really love aircraft. I love everything that goes around aircraft, and we just used to chat, and I thought, that's a perfect fit. So now, I'm not on the TV screen, so to speak, bringing you the news, but I am in uniform, communicating the story of the Royal Australian Air Force, and I love that. Being invited on the training flight with the Hercules was fulfilling a dream, there's no question about that. And seeing the captain of the flight, a 29-year-old, serving his country with such pride, and we talked about that, and the experience and the skill set was inspiring for me to observe. But it also gave me a tremendous appreciation of the role the loadmasters play. And the images that I think are iconic that we show on the news in disaster zones, where they're pushing out pallets of aid to people who've been ravaged by a tsunami or floods or whatever. But this experience has given me a deeper understanding of how the jigsaw works, about the depth of work and planning, the logistics, the skill of our Air Force men and women to bring it all together, to save people from earthquakes, from tsunamis, to go into war zones. It was remarkable to have a front row seat to that. The Air Force is part of our community, part of the fabric of this country, and I'm part of it now. And that's something for me to be really proud about, and to tell my daughters that I'm, in a small way, contributing to my country by being in the Defence Force and being in the Royal Australian Air Force as it celebrates an amazing milestone.